What's up, everybody? My name's Mitch, and welcome to episode 60 of Next Gen Newsweek, your weekly podcast for all things, including Pokemon-related news and anything else in the world of gaming happening this week. And joining me, as always, we have Michael.
Hola.
From bed with Animal Crossing pillows. And we have Chase.
Hello, hello.
All right, so we have a little bit of a very Pokemon-heavy episode this evening, and then a couple other things. I did want to quickly I want to highlight some of the new releases that are coming out this Friday. We have 12 Minutes, which is coming out on Xbox and Series X and Xbox One, which is like a point-and-click puzzle game that's got like a very intense story that's happening. A lot of people are talking about it online right now. It's coming to Game Pass on Friday as well. And then Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut coming out on PS4 and PS5 on Friday. Chase, are you...
And Madden.
Oh, yeah. And Madden. Pre-order at Walmart, you get Peyton Manning or somebody in your whatever. We don't... Madden, ew.
I'm probably not going to buy like the PS5 version. I'm probably just going to upgrade my version.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play it though.
Are you getting all the stuff where you can go to like the new island and everything?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I'll be getting all that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, I don't know, Chase, I don't know if you were doing the show with us back when we talked about this back in January. My dates are all messed up. But there was this game called EVE Online. It's been around for a while. And back in January, they
might have heard of it before.
Yeah, when we covered it, they had there had been an all-out war that had taken place in the game, and that war has finally come to an end. And the thing is that the way that this game works is that you spend your real-world money to upgrade your ships, and whenever your ships are destroyed, you lose them for good. So people have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into their own personal ships in this gigantic war that's taken place. And now that it's ended, the total damage that's been done to people's wallets has come out to be over $3 million.
Good Lord.
Just in that time frame. And so the war started on July 5th of last year. So they waited till after 4th of July, thankfully, to start the war that came to be known. And I got it in the notes here. World War B, like the bug B, 2. I don't know where they came with the name for that at. But yeah, it was a massive coalition known as Poppy, P-A-P-I, like Chase's nickname.
Nice.
They campaigned for 55 weeks in a quest to destroy the Imperium. That's pretty much all the news of it. But they had at one point had over 100,000 people fighting in this war for whatever. I can't remember the entire purpose of it, but like most wars, people are like, what are we fighting over? I don't know. we're just fighting for the sake of
pick
fighting.
a side and hop in.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I can't remember if it was the No Man's Sky war that's happening or has happened, or if it's this one, but there was like 3 different factions or something. I think that may have been the No Man's Sky one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. $3 million in real world money lost because of a video game.
Mm-hmm.
It puts in perspective how I am gonna spend $8 to unlock Gengar in Pokemon Unite. So, yeah, that's quite a bit. I kind of skipped past it, but we'll go back to it before we hit up this Pokemon news. Would you guys like to talk about any games that you're playing real quick?
Fortnite's winding down.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Did you get your Superman and Rick Sanchez skins?
I did. I'm trying to still eke out a few missions because I want the prismatic Rick and Morty skin. But other than that, there's really nothing to do right now.
Did you buy Ariana Grande?
I was so tempted to, but I did not. I did, however, finish her mission, so I get like this little weird glowy field of crystals and she blows a kiss.
That's just what you needed.
That's what I needed.
Chase, what about you? What have you been playing?
Let's see. I finished up Hitman 3. I thought it was okay. I didn't realize that you kind of needed to play the first two. And I never played the first two, but you kind of get the gist of the story of what happened. Yeah. But I don't know. Like I thought it was okay. Like I nothing like really crazy. I mean, like it was a beautiful game. There's so much like depth to it. Like you can do so many different things. But like I don't know. I was just kind of like whenever it was over, I was just like, do I want to go back and retry like all these different variations of the mission, or do I just want to move on to something else? And so like I was like, yeah, I'll just move on to something else. So. I went from that and I picked up that new game Foreclosed. I don't know if you guys heard about that. But it's like a let's see.
I've heard of it, but I don't remember what it is.
Oh yeah. So it's like a cyberpunk style game set in like a comic book like world. Like in the future, it kind of plays like a mix of cyberpunk and Control. It looks really cool, but like overall, it just wasn't that great. I mean, it's like an indie game. Like I wasn't expecting a lot. Like after I finished it, like I felt like oh man, I've just finished like the first good mission of like a real big game. So like I wish like it had more to it. Like if it had more to go on to like later on, that would be really awesome. But like I just kind of felt like it kind of like just ended. Like I mean I know that was the end of the story, but I just kind of felt like it needed more. And then I played What the Golf, and I was so happy with that. That was such a fun game. Man, like I was just sitting there just laughing my ass off at like all the just stupid little things. Like you just like swing your golf club, and then like all of a sudden you're not actually the ball. You're like the club, or you're the person, or you're like you're the hole, and you have to get into the into like the goal. Yeah, it's super funny. Yeah, I highly recommend it if you like puns. If you hate golf and you like golf. And then I've started up Evergate, which I thought was going to be kind of like a Metroid game, but it's actually like a really cool platformer puzzle game, and I'm almost all the way through that. So
you've been busy this past week, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, I have.
He has been.
Yeah, I've been real busy. So.
I got to try out Splitgate finally, which if you're not familiar with that is like a Halo game that involves portals. Very good. Took me about an hour or so to finally figure out the controls and actually start feeling like I was being competitive and not just cheesing my way through the game. I don't know if I talked about it last week. I can't remember when I started, but I did start up playing Apex Legends, which is probably one of the most fun feeling battle royales. I don't want to say it's my favorite because I've only played maybe a day or so total out of it. I started up Pokemon Unite earlier today, and I also started the Maquette. Am I saying that right? The Maquette.
Yeah.
Which Richard and Chase were talking about last week, which is like it's a puzzle game that has again kind of like 12 minutes where it's got a very deep story that's rooted in the game. It's about I know Richard spoiled the ending of it last week, but it's pretty much just like a game about living through like the relationship of this couple, and you're pretty much living out through their relationship and experiencing it as it's unfolding. I'm about halfway through the game. I did not get it all done in one sitting like that you guys were talking about, but I'm probably going to finish it tonight before I go to bed, if not tomorrow. And then of course did the Smash tournament, just live streamed it again. So I want to also say thanks to our 12 new subscribers that we've gotten off of that last live stream, which is very exciting. So thank you guys if you're watching this. But that being said, let's talk about Pokemon, because we don't spend a lot of time talking about Pokemon on this channel, and we finally have a lot of Pokemon news to talk about, and I'm pretty sure all three of us are very big Pokemon fans. So we got a lot of stuff to go through here. So we'll start with some of the smaller stuff, and we'll work our way into the bigger stuff. So starting off with Pokemon Unite. which we were just talking about. It's coming out on mobile on September 22nd. Michael, you said that they are adding you get like a promo for you get Pikachu for free if you pre-register the game, right?
Yep. I think it's like cap, like they're trying to get a lot of people to pre-register. So I think it was like if 25,000 people register, they'll give you Pikachu for free, and then like if it's double that, they're gonna unlock a special skin that he doesn't have yet in the game.
So it's 2.5 million, not 2
Million. There you go. 1,000. Whatever numbers.
Yeah, 5 million is the festival Pikachu. So,
there we go.
Yeah, and also
Numbers.
if you haven't already started playing, you can also get Zero Aura for free through whatever time you have to get that done. There is crossplay between mobile and Switch too, so you can if you don't have a Switch and you want to play it, you can pick it up on your phone. And they also added some new Pokemon. I know one of them was Mamoswine, and I think there might have been another one, but I don't remember who it was. Then we talked about Pokemon Cafe, which I literally put in the notes. I skipped this because it's a puzzle game that's like isn't it? It's like a match 3 puzzle game. It's like
It's kind of like a match chain kind of thing. It's like it's a really interesting game. But like after I played it for probably like 2 or 3 days, and I was like, nah, this is like I love puzzle games, but this is just not my kind of thing.
Yeah. There was also something about Pokemon Masters, and I didn't even see that pop up on my screen because I may have gotten lost in the skipping of Pokemon Cafe. But they're doing a new legendary event that's going on through September 15th, where you can get a chance to win new Pokemon. Pretty much all I'm reading in this.
New Pokemon.
Yeah. And then Pokemon Go, they're doing their 5-year anniversary where you can get Sword and Shield legendaries and common Pokemon in there as well.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the bigger stuff, we've got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl got a new trailer, and the games look much better than they did the last time they showed them off. And I've decided I'm actually going to get one because I've never played Gen 4, and I was on the fence about it because it's the generation I didn't really care for the most. But I finally decided I'm going to get it because it looks a lot better. They added lots of social features like an underground area where you can build bases and give you access to Pokemon that are not previously known to be in the area or in that region. They've got online competitive play with friends and with random people, but no ranked battles. They're still doing those in Sword and Shield. And yeah. So let's talk about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. First off, if you're going to get it, which one are you going to get, if not both of them? And what was something in that trailer that really stuck out to you that made you really excited for the game? You know?
Since they have like the global network, there's not really a whole lot of point in getting one version over the other. I think my only thing will be like which one has EC Gastrodon. Because typically if they do separate them, they have EC and West C, and they'll separate them by game sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my only thing, just to make it easier on breeding it myself. Because I like breeding me some Pokemon.
So, what type of Gastrodon are you saying? What is it?
East C. So it's the blue and green one.
Okay.
Instead of the pink and brown one.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's my only thing. I do like the... I'm still talking. No. Like the inclusion of basically making like a hidden part in the mine that is based off of the statues you have in your base. It's kind of like a mix of the like the Pokemon hideouts. So I think that's a really cool feature, and it doesn't stray too far from what the game was in the past.
Yeah.
Chase?
Are you done now? Okay.
I'm done. I'm gonna let you finish.
So I've never played the old original ones, so this is going to be my first journey through them. I'm really excited to play them though because it looks good. It looks kind of like it doesn't look as I feel like it doesn't look as good as Link's Awakening, but they did take it in that kind of direction. But yeah, no, it looks awesome. I'm excited to finally get through this and play it for the first time. And I haven't really decided yet on which one I'm getting, but I'll probably announce like which version has what closer to release date.
Yeah, I typically go for I don't really know. I guess my reasoning one, which game has more ghost types, because that's how I picked Pokemon Shield over Pokemon Sword. But then they usually just go off which box legendary looks cooler, and Dialga is way cooler in my opinion than Palkia. So Palkia looks stupid. I mean, they both look stupid, but Dialga.
So
looks
it's basically
stupid.
Dog Dragon versus Thick Thigh Dragon. Which one are you going to go for?
Yeah, but it's. I think most of my problem is just the box art. Pokemon games always have the worst box art because they only will put like a PNG of the legendary with a black background or something on it, and they always pick like the dumbest pictures of these Pokemon. So anyway, I don't know if you guys have even seen those box arts. I
saw it. Yeah,
they both look stupid. But anyway, I'll probably end up getting Diamond. I think but. Then part of it's like, okay, well, are they going to do like a platinum kind of thing where they're going to have like the parts of platinum built into it? Or are they going to make it like a DLC you got to buy later? However they're going to handle that. And then finally was Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I'd like to start off by saying I'm glad that game didn't get delayed because I was very confident in thinking that game was going to get delayed into at least like the summer. But just... No knows. I just put wow because it was just like,
yeah.
Oh my god, that game looks it looks so much better than the last time they showed it off, and there's a lot more depth to it than I was expecting. But Michael, would you like to take a long stint about talking about Pokemon Legends?
Oh my god! So I think Pokemon Legends is like the game I always dreamed of. Like, even just down to the minutia of you can change the technique of each move, whether you want it to be a strong version of that move or a quick version of that move. You know? Like those are small details that matter.
Yeah.
I love the region variants. It's borrowing heavily, I think, from ancient Chinese tradition, and it looks wonderful. It really does. I love the whole aspect of everything. The old Pokeballs and how they were made and developed. Gosh, just everything looks so beautiful. You're having to sneak up on Pokemon, which is honestly something you should have had to do for a long time now. But it's just there is so much. It feels like a real RPG instead of just another continuation of the Pokemon series. This is something I would play for a long time.
Yeah. I feel like this is a good next step for like where Pokemon should go. Like this is like kind of like where, I mean, obviously there are lots of comparisons to Breath of the Wild that could be made, but like one of them would be like Breath of the Wild is like the new gold standard for Zelda games, as they've kind of said. I would like to see Legends kind of be that new gold standard for where Pokemon goes, because it does change a lot of those core things. But before we deep dive that, Chase, how are you feeling coming out of that first trailer or that trailer?
I thought it was incredible. Like I was just blown away. Like I don't like, because you don't want to set your expectations so high that you do when you play it that you're let down. But like, man, it just looks great. like there's so much in it that I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is what we've been waiting for so long for. But yeah, like it's It's incredible. Like there's so much that I'm like just pumped for.
Yeah. I remember back when the Wii U was Nintendo's major first party system that they had. There was a long running rumor that they were making an open world Pokemon game that had online multiplayer, like it was like an MMO type of game. This game hits all of those except for the online bit, which I wonder if they just haven't shown it off and that actually is in there. Maybe not like, an MMO, but like, three or 2 to 4 people could go around and play the game together or something. I think that would be incredible. But yeah, just like this a highlight of some of the stuff. One, like Michael had mentioned, there's new variants to older Pokemon. There's new regional evolutions to some of them. Crafting, so you have to craft your own Pokeballs, so it means you have to find the stuff to make them. It's open air and open world, so you can hop on like flying types and you can fly around the entire map. You can ride Pokemon on the water. What else was there in there? You actually take damage. Like you can be attacked by Pokemon and actually just taken out in the field if you're not battling them. So they showed off like a Shinx or something just electrocuting the player until they died, which I thought was pretty funny. It did seem like there was only like one major village that was there. So there's not a bunch of civilizations. It's just like one. The rest of it's pretty much just all nature, and you have to like make camps and set them up to rest and heal your Pokemon and stuff like that. And then I shout out to the YouTuber Austin John Plays. I put some of his videos in the show notes in case you guys wanted to watch them. But he did a deep dive on how the Pokedex works this time, and it's not just, okay, I captured this Pokemon, I completed the Dex. Like, there's specific challenges for every single Pokemon to complete out their pages. So it's like how many times you've battled them, how many times you've gotten them to use specific moves, gotten them to evolve and everything. There's a lot of detail for each Pokedex entry for each Pokemon in the game. So it's a very big breakdown on all of... and I think there's... IGN also posted something. I think they've confirmed over 150 Pokemon plus in the game so far. Not including the ones that they're expecting. Like, obviously, like, there's going to be a new version of, like, Arcanine that's going to be in there because Growlithe is one of the Pokemon that got a regional variant and everything. So there's a lot of different Pokemon that we don't know about, but we're expecting to be there that they have not even included in that list. So...
Got the most OP Pokemon, Bidoof.
Yep. It's got to be.
I can't wait for live action battles with Tentacle and just wrapping its giant tentacles around my avatar, slowly squeezing me and
Tentacle deconfirmed. And like I said at the beginning of this, I'm so surprised that the game didn't get delayed. It's coming out in January, so we're pretty close to that game coming out. And at one point it's mentioned like I don't think this game's going to run well on the Switch. And if what they were showing was in-engine footage, it looks to be running pretty good. Especially since the fact that we were all expecting a Switch Pro and we're not getting one. So hopefully the game will actually run really well and look good on the OLED model if you're getting one. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Pokemon Legends, unless I'm missing anything important.
They did not show Arceus.
They did not. Oh yeah, they showed off like evil Pokemon though. Like they showed them like
they did
their eyes getting red, and you had to like.
I'm not sure if that's like Shadow Pokemon because their eyes are red too, but or if it's something different.
Yeah, like the Red Moon.
Yeah. If Lugia ends up being in this game and it's purple, then you know they're Shadow Pokemon. Because Shadow Lugia was purple with red eyes. And they just tied all to Pokemon Coliseum. That's all this is.
Beautiful.
And then just to kind of bring it around to a discussion, just jumping away from Pokemon, unless Pokemon's in your top 3 with this. But there was a lot of discussions going around online. I don't know where it came from. But it was talking about what people define as their favorite... How do people define their favorite games of all time? So I put in the notes just asking if you pick 3 games that you would say, or you would define as your greatest game of all time. What are they? Why are they your greatest game of all time? and we'll just kind of go around. Like we'll do one, then go back around, do another one, then do another one.
Okay.
Would either one of you want to go first, or would you like me to go first, or however y'all want to do that? Does anyone have
You
one?
go
Right?
first.
Okay, I'll start with one of the first games I've ever played, and that is Super Mario 64. I've probably talked about this game. The reason why this game's I define it as one of my favorites of all time before on the show, but pretty much, like I said, it was one of the first games I ever played on the first system I ever owned, which was an N64. And it actually, through that game, I actually learned how to read, which I guess I was 5, so whenever I started playing that game. So I learned how to read because of it, and then once I grew up and started learning like how big of a deal Mario 64 was, because it was like the first 3D platformer game, and that was like a really big deal. So it obviously has bigger implications than what I had for it. But I don't know. I just grew up and playing that game. I didn't have a lot of N64 games when I was a kid, other than this and Glover and Clay Fighter 63 and a third. I didn't even have Banjo or Zelda for the longest time, so I had to go back and play those later. But yeah, I don't know. I have a really close attachment to Super Mario 64, just mostly because of the reading thing. I feel so accomplished that I learned how to read through like the guidebook and the in-game text. And I was having to ask my mom like, "What does that say?" And she'd be like, "I don't know. Why don't you read it to me?" And I had to learn how to read it. So
Cool.
very wholesome. Shout out to Mom. Thanks for helping me read in Mario.
Yeah. Come on.
Michael, let's jump to you.
Okay. I'd have to say one of my favorites probably was like the original Diamond and Pearl. Honestly, just because it doesn't make any sense, but just how much of a mess it was. Like literally, like the whole Pokedex was just balanced. There was the original. They only had fire Pokemon in the game. One of them don't get until after beating everything, and one of them is the starter. So unless you pick the starter, you don't get a fire Pokemon until after beating the game, unless you decide Tony Tile will do.
So I know what Michael was saying, but his microphone was cutting out really bad. So pretty much the summary of that was the Pokédex is terrible, and that there wasn't a lot of fire type Pokemon in the game, except for the starter. So
Yeah, it was so incredible, but it did break a lot of molds. It introduced like 2.5D, so you had some interesting isometric 3D aspects to the game. But then they had like weekly Pokemon. Like Drifloon was like one of my first loves. Not sexually, but just because like you see him floating there, and he's so cute.
and then you realize that his Pokédex entry is he takes kids to the underworld and eats them or something. So
Right, and I'm 30, so it'll never happen. It just
I do have a lot of respect for Diamond and Pearl, because again that was like the first Pokemon game on the DS, so they had to like reincorporate how you're gonna make that game when you've got 2 screens, and I love that they were able to put all the menu stuff on the bottom so that the game that's happening on the top screen was not interrupted by any of that stuff. You didn't have like a menu popping up and everything. You did everything on the bottom screen.
right.
Very very innovative for using that new hardware and stuff like that. So yeah, I get it, and I have a newfound interest in Diamond and Pearl, so I don't hate it like I did when I was a kid. I would have swore to you that it was the worst games of all time back when I was like 13 or whenever those came out, but I grew out of it, so like most things. All right, Chase, what about you?
So I will have to say Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. It was one of the first Super Nintendo games that our family had, and like I know Richard has talked about this before, but like that moment like when you get the 3 pendants and you get the sword and you fight what's his name, Agaham.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to the dark world and like you have all this stuff to do, and it's like, man, like that moment right then was just like so incredible. And it's like back then I mean, like there weren't spoilers. I mean, unless you had like Nintendo Power magazines that had like guides or whatever. But like you had to figure everything out on your own, and it was just like the overall, like the music, the the world, the figuring out puzzles, how to use which items where to get to all the secret areas. I just spent like hours and hours and hours and hours playing.
Yep. My next one is also a Zelda game, but mine is actually Twilight Princess, because that was the first Zelda game I was ever introduced to. Actually, no, I think I played Wind Waker, but the first one I owned was Twilight Princess on the Wii, because back then when that game came out, I was uncultured and I didn't know what Zelda was, but I got it when I got the Wii. And I kind of like what you're saying. Like I knew the game was going to be massive, because I mean there was already like a ton of dungeons and stuff like that in the beginning of it. But when there was some point, and I can't remember exactly when it happens, but you're doing the duel on the bridge against the bokoblin on the giant hog, and there's the scene at the end of it where like you knock him off and Link like rears back on the horse and like have some epic music playing and everything like that. And I just feel like this game's awesome. And then that first time you have to go through the entire fight against Ganondorf, I was so just proud of myself for getting through that game. And back then I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna 100%, I'm gonna get all the hearts. I was just very accomplished that I made it through with what I got. Again, no guidebooks for that one. I mean, I'm sure I didn't own one, but I knew they existed, obviously. But yeah, it was just like I wasn't ready for how long that game was going to be. I actually thought it was going to be longer because of when you actually have to go to the Twilight Realm, and it was actually just one dungeon instead of like a whole bunch of different things. But shout out to like Zant. The whole boss fight with Zant was incredible, because you had to literally fight him using everything you've learned from every single other boss fight in the entire game. And they are all just so different. Like, it wasn't like, okay, yeah, you have to stab like the 3 heads to knock them down. It was like you had to use the iron boots to flip upside down because the whole field's covered in electricity, or it had like magnets on it and stuff. And swimming underwater with the claw shots, and shooting the giant whatever the hell it was on the back of the head. Like, it was an incredible game. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites of all time. Even though Majora's Mask is still my favorite Zelda game, but shout out to Twilight Princess for just being so damn incredible. But Michael, what you got next?
I know we've all just done like Nintendo games so far, and despite having not played a single one, still really defining to me is the Kingdom Hearts series just as a whole. Like, I'm such a huge slut for crossovers. And so you're literally going to have to save the 100 Acre Woods with this, like, Sega ripoff man holding a giant-ass key. Hell fucking yeah. Disney character, Daffy Duck. Not Daffy Duck.
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck. It's like, you can win the most of the whole franchise with Zeta Fly, and like no power ups, nothing, and just like hell yeah. Like, that's probably the one of the most badass series I've ever experienced.
Sweet. Chase?
So, also back on the Super Nintendo, I want to go back to Earthbound, which Mother 2.
Yes.
Man, like, because I love Zelda so much. Like, I was looking for something else that's kind of similar to that, and then Earthbound was like just so cool because it was like an RPG set in like modern time. Like, right. It was just so cool you know, just to have that, that like, there's actual cities and there's like, burger shops and like pizza stores or, and then you'd like, I don't know, it's just like so cool just to have like just a modern RPG, and like no one had really, I mean, no one had really done that. And it was just weird because like, I guess just how they marketed it, the game kind of flopped, but then came out to like in the long run became like one of the most like popular games that was on the Super Nintendo. But yeah, like that's definitely one I go back to. I literally play it at least once a year. So just love all the music, yeah, everything about it.
Are those games on the Nintendo Switch online?
I know. I want to say Link to the Past is.
Well, I meant like any of
But
the Earthbounds.
I don't think Earthbounds are. And then and then Mother 3. I know there's an English version of that one that exists, but I don't think it's on the Switch.
It's a fan made one on the.
Is it?
Yeah, they never local. That's like the big push for all the Nintendo like big fanboys. It's like they need to localize Mother 3 and put it on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and then there was like there's footage on YouTube of the Earthbound 64 game that was going to exist, and then they for some reason pulled the plug on it, and then it became Mother 3 for Super Nintendo. So
probably gonna get they probably need like the N64 disc drivers. No, that wouldn't make sense. I don't know.
I don't know.
My third one, to no one's surprise, is BanjoKazooie. Once I discovered this game and I started playing it, it was immediately just like my favorite game of all time. I am someone who really has a big appreciation for music in games. Grant Kirkhope, who is the composer for that game and BanjoTooie, dude is incredible. I really have a soft spot also for the Nintendo 64 Rare era. So all of those games, so like BanjoKazooie, Tooie, and Conker's Bad Fur Day, Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, they're all just like in my top 10 N64 games that I've played. It is the only game, the first two are the only games you will ever get me to sit through and collect every single collectible in a collectathon game, because there's so many of them. We don't talk about BanjoKazooie nuts and bolts, as most Banjo fans would agree. And I really don't know what else to say about it. Like, I mean, I could sit here and talk for hours about just like the level design, and even though the story is like it's very simple for any game, especially in today's age. But just the fact that like you have to go through like 10 worlds and then you're like, okay, I'm going to do the final boss, and she's like, okay, well actually we're going to have a trivia show instead to see how much you've been paying attention. And then you find out, oh, if I had talked to all these ladies that like her sister who gives you all these little hints, and if you actually had paid attention, you'd be really prepared for that. But most people just skip through it. There was the stop and swap thing where originally the idea was that you were going to be on a particular screen on BanjoKazooie and then quickly pull the cartridge out and shove BanjoTooie in there in that like couple of second span, and it was going to unlock stuff in BanjoTooie before it got canceled through development. Like that kind of stuff's just incredible. Like it was just like, I don't know what else to say about it without just talking for another hour. But if you've never played BanjoKazooie, definitely hunt it down on N64, or if you have Xbox, all the games are on Game Pass, so definitely go check those out. Michael, what is your game 3?
So my game 3, if I have to narrow it down, is going to be something I don't think either one of you have heard of. Was called Robopon.
It was called what?
Robopon.
Robopon.
So late 90s, same thing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing. A lot of people kind of jumped on that game and started doing Pokemon ripoffs. And Robopon was one of the first ones. There was, I believe, a red version and a blue version of Robopon. And so they had different robots you could collect. On top of that, you could kind of alter some of them too, like legs or whatever, and have different loadouts for each of your robots. It was really cool and interesting. That was like on Game Boy Color. A few other series similar to Pokemon ripoffs. Um, I think Mega Man, like some of the network battles, like tactics stuff. They did that, where you could have different loadouts and different Mega Man characters and battle them out. Um, Dragon Quest monsters. You collect different monsters and battle them. I really do enjoy all of like the Pokemon ripoff stuff. That being said, some of the newer ones a little bit lackluster, but this is also kind of like that we're going to be talking about later on in the podcast too, with companies borrowing gaming schemes. But that's my third one is Robopon.
Are you referring to
Yes.
Among Us?
Yes.
We'll hit that up when we get done with this. I know we forgot about it. All right, and Chase, what about your game 3?
So I was really thinking about it, and I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII, and then I was like, and I thought about it a little more, and I was like, you know what? This got to be like overall game for me that I spent the most time on as a kid was Doom and Doom 2 era. I just got super sucked into those and the modding community because there was it was such an impactful game for what it was because there were first person shooters before that, but it really just took it way to the next level, and it had like the multiplayer and it had like all these other really really cool features, and then like the modding community just took it further and further and further, and then like I used to do my own levels, I used to do textures, I used to download like music and like convert them to MIDI files and then put them in my levels and
yes,
like things like that. Like I had like all these like weird tools to just make all this crazy stuff, and like I probably still have them on floppy disk somewhere, but they're probably like deteriorated or whatever, gone. But man, like I don't know, and it's wild because like even if you go to like your console store right now, and if you buy Doom 2, like they're still releasing new content for those games, even though those games came out in like 94 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So they're still releasing like new like campaigns that you can like download for free, which is wild.
It is. It really is wild.
It's not as impressive as with that because the game, like you said, it came out in '94, but they're actually still releasing new campaigns for the original Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. I found that out about 2 weeks ago. I tried firing the game up, and I was just like, wait a minute. There were only 5 campaigns the last time I played this game, and now there's 14 of them that's installed by people.
Wow.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So does I said only list about 3 of them, but is there any other impactful games before we move on from this that you would like to highlight?
Final Fantasy Online.
No,
Fantasy Online. Fantasy Star
okay.
Online.
Okay.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I got super into that.
If I had to say, I'm just going to say the whole genre as a whole, but the Guitar Hero Rock Band era, shout out to that. It was very, as far as a favorite game of all time, like, I would say Guitar Hero 6 and Rock Band 3 are kind of like at the top of that list. Just because the fact that like it was one of the first games that kind of introduced the idea of being able to take DLC from an old game and convert it into a newer version of that game. So all of the DLC you ever bought for any of those games is carried over. automatically, and just the whole concept of getting friends together to strum and beat on plastic instruments for hours at a time. Like, I will never be
Yeah.
able to get that time like ever recreated again. Like, we tried
I mean,
when
we can always go to like Jenna's Toy Box or something.
yeah, we could, but it's not going to be the same as having 4 people playing guitar at the same time to Through the Fire and Flames. You'll never be able to beat that. And then real quick before we wrap up, because Michael reminded me about it, there was a story that came out today about how Fortnite's new mode is pretty much taking the Among Us game and turning it into a Fortnite game mode, which I will say that it's kind of shitty that they're doing that, but at the same time, Call of Duty also just came out with a VIP mode or something that's pretty much just the same thing. But Fortnite is actually just like 1-to-1 ripping it off instead of like putting their own spin on it.
Like even the same map, which is damn low. Like
same
with all
map.
the creativity that they have, like, and even one of the game developers or what was the president of Among Us was like, like I'm not going to gatekeep, the game mechanics. Like that's a little weird, but like to one rip off the map basically. Besides like swapping 2 areas,
Same map, same terminology. Like that's, I mean,
it's really fucking low. And this
Yeah.
isn't the first time Epic has just blatantly ripped off creative material. And so they're kind of doing this weird push shove with trying to be a gatekeeper of gamers, but at the same time ripping off creative talent. It's not cool.
Wasn't the whole concept of Fortnite like put in question because they had ripped off of H1Z1 or something because of the whole battle royale genre as a whole?
And also, like a lot of the dances
Yeah.
were being blatantly ripped off. I mean, the Carlton is a great example. I mean, that was something that actor, he's a legit fucking actor, had on a TV show, and they just ripped it off from the TV show. Nothing came from that, you know? And so,
Mm-mm.
if it's that big, that you can just blatantly rip that off without an actor say so, without the original TV show say so. Like, there's people that still own that show. Epic doesn't.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
You know?
That's wow. It's just adding more fuel to that whole Epic versus Apple lawsuit going on. I'm sure that's gonna it'll end up getting brought up somehow in there because everyone is involved in that lawsuit. They've had people from Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft all having to go and testify in court over that crap.
Right.
So
I mean, there's some stuff I do respect Epic over. I mean, they treat their employees right, they donate a lot, but at the same time, like, they're not unforgivable or like not beyond reproach. I mean, uh, they need to be held accountable for what they are doing to the creative community.
yeah. Also, another thing, because I'm really bad at writing stuff down. There was something that came out. I saw it on someone, I can't remember who. So I think it was Destin Legary, his YouTube channel. He works for IGN. Just want to let everybody know in case whatever. But he had posted a video and in there was talking about how Sony apparently was paying all of their employees a big gigantic bonus that equaled 7 months of their salary. It was just like, holy shit.
Wow.
Like, so props to Sony for treating or doing something to show a little appreciation towards your employees, especially
Oh yeah,
with everything going on. So that's
also are y'all hiring? Like, shit, I'll be a maintenance guy.
Yeah, scrub some floors. All right, let's go ahead and jump to trivia. I'm not gonna lie, I came up with this question on a whim. It's not as elaborate as most of these, so hopefully you won't be stumped too hard with this one compared to some of the other ones. Would like to remind everyone of the trivia scores. Michael and Richard are both tied for 13. Steven has 9. And Chase, you have 6. Looking to change that this week. Trivia question, obviously, is Pokemon related. And that is, which Nintendo handheld had the most limited edition Pokemon systems? Was it the 3DS, the Nintendo DS, the Game Boy Advance, or the Game Boy Color? And that's not just the United States. That is going to be around the world, too.
Right.
So, and I guess the last little bit of this, I'm sorry. So just the way this is breaking down, of course, 3DS, 3DS XL, new 3DS, and new 3DS XL are all in one. The DS Lite, and the DSi are all in one. The Game Boy Advance and the SP are all in one. And then, of course, the Game Boy Color. So, everything that involves in those systems. Or that family.
So close, though.
I'm going to say DS.
Michael, which ones were you thinking were so close? Is Michael frozen?
Is he froze up? I was like, man, he's really thinking on this.
Michael, my guy, you are frozen solid. What if he actually is thinking?
Oh, his power went out. He said advance.
Okay. Michael's power went out. Sorry, everyone. Michael is just going to be in this continuous frozen state. I love it. That's a thumbnail right there. I'm kidding. So you said DS. Michael is saying the Game Boy Advance and SP. The correct answer, actually, I'm going to do this the way I always do it. We'll go in backwards order. The Game Boy Color had 6 variations. The Nintendo DS had 11. The Game Boy Advance and the SP had 12. And the 3DS had 26.
Oh my gosh.
So there's 26 different 3DS XLs for Pokemon. The 3DS, 3DS XLs, and all that jazz. So anyway, so I guess since there's no Michael to plug this week for social media, I'll just go ahead and say, make sure you check out his Facebook page, Unsolicited Nudes. They just hit over 300 unique members on there, so people sharing lots of pasta-related memes on there. In the spirit of him always sharing deals as well, Best Buy, I believe they're still doing it, but they have Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox and PlayStation for $10. And supposedly you get a steelbook with it, but Richard said he ordered it and he did not get a steelbook. So it's kind of questionable. I haven't picked up my copy yet because I'm just lazy. Chase, do you have anything to plug?
Nothing to plug.
All right. And finally, if you want to find me anywhere, I'm at Meechflow all over the internet. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m. we're hosting Smash Brothers tournaments at Portland Pizza and Pub if you live in the Middle Tennessee area. Saturday, not the 26th. What is this Saturday coming up? The 21st, right? I think, if I'm getting that right. They're doing one at the Portland High School. They're expecting a lot of people to come out there for the robotics club, but it's open to anyone, I believe. And then, so every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and then that thing on Saturday, I'll have a time. I'll post it on Twitter. And then tomorrow at, what time would it be here? 12:30 p.m. Is the Warzone event that's kicking off the announcement for Call of Duty Vanguard, which is the new World War II Call of Duty game coming out this year, but they're doing the announcement in Warzone like they did last year for Black Ops Cold War. So if you want me to stream that, I might if I'm home, but other than that, it'll be going on at 12:30 p.m. Central, so that's 1:30 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Wow, that's a lot. Anyway, My name is Mitch. Thanks to Chase and Michael for joining me tonight, and we'll be back next week with another brand new week of news.